Liverpool versus everybody. Good morning here. Good morning. It's about 9 a.m. ish, somewhere around that time. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, whatever time of day it is. Hope you've had a great week. I think as Liverpool supporters, we've had a pretty good week, or the week feels like a pretty good week because of the result that we all know of at Anfield. Another great night there, European night. Again, shout out to the fans versus Napoli. And just starting there towards the end of that game, and then I'll get into United and some of the things that Klopp spoke about in his press conference. I want to go back to that goal, and I want to go to that moment where the ball comes over the top, and why isn't it stopped? We always talk about crosses being stopped. Virgil van Dijk talks about crosses being stopped. Um, why it wasn't stopped, I don't know. What's up, my man? Good to see you, bro. But I have to admit, in that moment, I was a bit like, ooh, it, are we gonna let this slip? After all this hard work, after all these missed chances, after Ospina, who I didn't really give a great shout out to, but I thought he could have easily been up there for just man of the match situations. The goal that Salah scored is a world class goal. That's just the facts. Anybody can say what they want to say, luck, whatever. The way he shook off Kolibali, where in that first 30 minutes he was struggling to do that, he finally did it. Caught Kolibali flat-footed. Kolibali probably had the worst moment in the game there, where he's left grabbing for Salah. Um, Other than that, Ospina I thought was really, really good. Combined with us not taking our chances, but that ball over the top, it gets nervy, and there's a lot of things that happen, and this is why I continue to say this season Liverpool are real. It's a special, almost like a spiritual situation that's going on with us. We're getting some luck, but also we're making that luck with just really good football, really really good hard work defensively, attacking as well. And you can say whatever you want about us not clicking and not taking our chances. That's true, but we're making the chances. And at some point, you got to believe that um, these high scoring games are coming back. And again, not for me. I don't really need the 4 nils, 5 nils. It's cool. It gives us some more goals, but I just want to win games. But I feel like if we can start to capitalize on these chances, I think we'll be fine. And it looks like Salah could very well be back in form, if you will. We'll see what happens on Sunday, but there's so many things in that situation where I think Milik or whatever his name is probably caught off guard that close at the end of the game. It's like, oh man, here's my moment, here's the chance. I can bring this team through. That works on a guy's mind. It's like, ooh, okay. He probably didn't even expect the ball to get to him. It got to him. He's off balance a little bit. He puts a somewhat weak shot. It goes pretty much right to Allison. Now, I don't want to sit here and say it's not a great save. It's a very important save, and it won us the game. And for Lark, yo, dude, can't message, but listening. Oh, all good, man. I appreciate your message right there. I appreciate that, Anfo Lark. Hope you're having a good day so far. As good as a save, as important as a save it is, there's something spiritual about what Liverpool is doing right now. That's all you can really say. Some of the things that have happened for us in this season so far, and I'll take it, call it luck, whatever. It's a spiritual thing, and that's why I just feel so special about this team, this season, and the way we're going. Again, a lot of hard work. We deserve everything we've gotten, in my opinion. But there's been a lot of just hand of God moments. I mean, that's all you can really look at. Even if you're not a person who believes in God, maybe you're atheist. It can only be that. It can only be that. So, just amazing. And what do you know? We go against a team who we know for years in Man United, segueing into that have had a keeper who's won them points over seasons. And you think about all these seasons where they've been really, really good defensively, things of that nature. How good would they have been without a keeper like De Gea? We'll never know, but I'm willing to bet that they wouldn't be as great. So it's just nice going into a game knowing that. Sure, you can still say across a career, De Gea is probably the better keeper. Right now, there's not many keepers in the world that are better than Allison or and doing what Allison is doing. Mommy, I believe we will win the league after Napoli. We know how to adapt, yeah, and win games that matters. If we play that way with within our Champions League games, we might not have as many points in the EPL. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and I think the knockout stages to go back to Champions League. Thank you, mommy, for the comment. The knockout stages is where this tournament obviously really really picks up, and it really starts to get real spicy. You can really start to see what teams are serious. The group stage is the group stage, and of course you want to get out, but this is where the tournament really picks up. It starts to heat up and get really exciting. So I think you can look forward to seeing, obviously based on who we play, and obviously Van Dijk is not playing that first game, so that makes it tricky. A lot of people are saying Porto because it's an easy draw. I'm not that kind of Liverpool fan. You're in the Champions League to play big teams, and for me, with this team, this particular team this season, I don't fear anyone. That's pretty much how I felt last season, but more so knowing because we can attack people and the high press and all that. But this season, with that as well, the defense and the goalkeeper is what really um, fills me with confidence personally. So I say bring on whoever. I don't care if we get Juventus, Dortmund. Of course, Real Madrid will be special for obvious reasons. But I couldn't care less. Barcelona, whoever it is, I'm confident in beating, even with Van Dijk being out in that first leg. Um, but yeah, it's a big game. We know what it is. Red Sunday. They'll probably have to build up. There'll be a lot of talk. Unfortunately for me, and it is unfortunate. Yes, it's cool to see Man United not doing well. You can point your fingers. You can have some banter. You can go on their channels and talk shit, whatever the case may be. But it is a bit nicer when both teams are doing really well. But again, it's Jose, and he always tends to get something over Liverpool, and it'll bring him a great deal of joy to be able to get something in this game. So I think for him, he'll do everything he can to get the draw, to nullify as much as he can. There's a bunch of injuries allegedly. I think there's 9 from what I saw. I think that's a bit of a smokescreen. We know Mourinho. Some of them do seem significant, but I'm willing to bet a couple, if not more than a couple, of those players are fit. And to be honest, none of those players, in my opinion, from what I've seen from the team, are major losses. Some of them are kind of on their friends. Some of them are guys who haven't really played that much. It's not like they're missing their whole front three, or too many of their quality attacking players. I want to say that there might have been something that said Alexis Sanchez is out, but has he really helped them since he's been there? Really? No. So to me, it won't be that many players missing, but we'll see. Um, Going into the game, we're flying high. United isn't. That could be looked at arguably as an issue for us. A lot of confidence for us could backfire. But listen again, Liverpool have done so much this season. They've come so far at this point that to take a loss in this game would be a heavy blow, I think, a heavy knock. Not that we couldn't bounce back from it, but I think at this moment, as good as we're doing with the momentum we have, to take an L here would be devastating. It's one of those games where United they're not going to come out and play us. They're just not going to do it. That's just not how he plays. That's not how he plays away at Liverpool at Anfield. So I'd expect him to play quite defensively, long ball. They were successful with that with Rashford. The last time I remember, I think long ball knocked down from Lukaku over to Rashford, and Trent had some difficulties. Let's talk about the crisis, or so-called crisis. Klopp has talked about it not being a crisis. I think everyone has their opinions on that. I tend to agree with Klopp. It's not like they're out for the season. They, meaning Trent, Gomez, Matip. It's still really harsh, and I don't know, as spiritual as I could say the situation is, it still seems every season we have this injury curse, and it's unfair, but it's what happens. And like Klopp says, it's our situation. He also kind of hinted at sort of changing the narrative and his idea of probably not getting anyone. We still may not, but there's some things that we kind of said, you know what, if we need to, we may go into the transfer window if it's something we absolutely need. More so talking about Harry Wilson from Derby. I know a lot of people asked me what I thought about Wilson. I'm not going to really go into that again, but there's a chance that we can get him back from Derby. Derby's been playing some really good football. He's been a pretty integral part to that in some games, specifically against United. So I don't really know if it's a crisis. No. What I'm saying is it wasn't like he's out for the season. So what I'm no. What I'm saying is Klopp was saying that it wasn't as if Trent was out for the season, Gomez out for the season, or Matip's out for the season. So he may not do like a panic buy in the window. Is what I meant to say. So my bad on that. If they were, even if one of those were, then maybe you can see him look for it. And then again, I loved hearing him talk about Rafa Camacho, because I think Rafa Camacho and Curtis Jones should see some game time. You got to believe in the FA Cup they will. But even in the league, I think they're at a level. I think they're obviously they're very young, but they're very hungry and have proven that they deserve at least a spot on the team at some point. Maybe not this game. Maybe this game is too big. But we do have other options at right back besides Milner. Obviously, Gomez, Trent being out right now, and Gomez out a bit longer. Klopp made it seem like Trent wasn't a serious, no problem, my man, a serious injury, but enough to keep him out for this game. It looks like Clyne is back. I know we all been worried about him. You know, is he alive? Is he not? He's back, so that's good as well. I don't know if he'll throw him back in after being out for so long, but I wouldn't be surprised. It may be Milner. I wouldn't be surprised to see at least have I wouldn't be surprised to at least have Camacho on the bench. Maybe even start. That's probably a big shout though for a game of this magnitude. But you know, I tend to agree with Klopp. I don't think it's a crisis at this moment. I think if we lose Lovren, I think maybe you can start to say, okay, this is going to be difficult. And it's again, it's here's the thing. You know, people say, oh, we have Lovren, but can Lovren really be depended on for this stretch of games? You know, he's going to have to be, but can he be? It seems like every other week he's got something, whether it's training, getting a concussion, he's sick, he has an earache, he has a stomach infection, his big toe is painful, whatever the case may be, it's always something. So we're going to need the guys we have to really step up and stay fit, if at all possible. So I'm obviously excited about the game. I think Liverpool just are a different team now, and I think there's so many games you go into to see Liverpool being able to win games 1-0. We've done that so many times already this season in the league, obviously in the Champions League just recently. So that gives you, again, a lot of confidence and knowing, you know, I used to be kind of against this whole idea that Virgil van Dijk makes everybody around him better, but the fact remains that that's what it looks like. You know, not to take anything away from Lovren and Matip, they're both good defenders on their own, and in general, just quality defenders. But it's amazing what they can do being next to Virgil van Dijk. It's amazing how good both of them have looked in parts, especially Matip of late, just being next to Van Dijk. I mean, I think when you play against a guy that he's, you know, he's that confident, that assured, but also beyond just the confidence, he just really shows and he's really good. You know, there's a moment there in the game against Napoli where him and Henderson, Van Dijk and Henderson, were going back and forth about a missed assignment or whatever. And while some people might look at that and say, "Ooh, that doesn't look good," to me, it's great. It's great because we have a team now where guys are holding each other accountable. Here's Van Dijk, who possibly you could say would be our future captain. It looks like he could be our captain now, depending on who you ask. You know, going at it, if you will, with Henderson. Going at it is for lack of a better term. I don't that might seem bad, but I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. That's what you want in your team. You want those figures who will hold each other accountable. That's great. Mane should be benched after last performance. I don't know about that, Mane. I don't know about that. I mean, as much as we talk about Mane not doing so well, I actually spoke to Mane on the phone, and he told me that he was missing those chances purposely to keep the time running. So I'm just saying, that's what Mane told me. I don't know. But, you know, I think even though Mane wasn't finishing his chances, he kept getting the chances. And you can never really downgrade how much that kind of work does. Again, Firmino, we've said some have said he's had an awful season. He hasn't been as great as we've come to know him to be. But still, someone on a podcast compared him to, oh God, what's the striker that used to be with Chelsea, plays with Atletico Madrid now? Why can't I remember his name? Anyway, as far as like just that work rate, that harassing, that I mean, there was a moment in the Burnley game which probably could have been looked at as a card, and maybe it was, I can't remember, but he put his foot up on the guy's. I mean, he's just always harassing people, and you can't discount those small things. And I say that for Mane's case because he did a lot of work of being that other outlet in the midfield in the game at Napoli. It goes unnoticed, it goes unappreciated, but we can't have Mane out of this side because of one game where he was missing chances. Let's be honest, Salah won the game for us, but he probably could have had a hat trick as well. The first really big chance we had, I thought, he makes a heavy touch, he misses it. The opportunity. The second chance, he had a shot on goal, probably should have made that, hits the side netting. So, listen, every one of our front three have had moments this season where they probably should have scored, and they didn't. So that's been kind of the story of the season. And to me, you don't get to just sit down because you have a game like that. Those misses were horrendous that Mane had. They really were, and especially knowing that could have put the game away because if that Millet goal goes in, which it didn't, of course, so we don't have to really worry about it. Then we don't have to panic like, oh man, we have what, a minute and 5 seconds left? Can we really pull this off? So, which would have been beyond difficult, probably nearly impossible to get the 2 goals back at that moment late in the game. I mean, that's just a stab to the heart. So, Luckily, it didn't happen. Luckily, there was so many things that happened on that moment, as I spoke about already, that allowed us to get through that. Whether it be Milic and his kind of off balance shot, didn't really get a lot behind it, and the goalkeeper just having the presence of mind, being as big as he is in that goal, blocking it, and us winning the game. So yeah, I wouldn't sit Mane. I think that's a little harsh. I mean, I hear you, but no, I don't. We need to have Mane in this game, in my opinion. My starting 11 prediction, not what I think Klopp will go with, what I think it should be, is honestly back to the lineup we had for um, Bournemouth. I think that is that the game that we had. Yeah, is that the game that we had? Fab, Naby, and Genie. That's the midfield I want to see, um, and so that's what I hope to see for the midfield. As far as the back four, it's hard to really say. Honestly, I'd like to see Camacho. I know it's a big game. I know he hasn't played all season starting. I don't even know if he's been on the bench, but I think the young kid is hungry. Klopp will probably go with Milner, but I'm going to say Camacho at right back. I'm going to say Lovren and Van Dijk in the middle. Obviously, Robertson on the left. And then the front three picks itself. I wouldn't be upset to see Shaq come in. I just want to continue to see our front three. I miss seeing that. And so having Firmino, Mane, Salah up top, I think is really, really good. And like I said, Salah looks to be coming back into his own. I personally love his celebration or lack thereof, where he's just looking at the crowd like, yeah, yeah. Because these players can say all they want that they don't listen to the news, they don't read the papers, but everyone has families. Everyone has that grandmother, that mother that calls you and say, "Hey, I don't like what they're saying about you." It gets back to the players, and that's what I think that look into to the crowd is, because I think he's aware of what people are saying, and not just rival fans, not just pundits, not just other people. I think some of our fans are still kind of like, when is he gonna hit that gear? And hopefully that's what he's doing. You know, we got the hat trick recently, and then he got the goal, the all important goal, amazing goal against Napoli. So we need him and Mane in the team as well as Firmino. So that's my lineup. My score prediction, honestly, I'm going 1-0. I can see it being a really stingy game. I can see us having chances, maybe not conceding them. Also, De Gea is a great goalkeeper, and he tends to always show that in the game against us. So I don't really care that Derby was able to beat this team. I don't really care that all these different teams, young boys, were able to beat them or whatever. This is Liverpool United. It's going to be different. Mourinho will have his team ready. That's just my opinion. If you think anything different, you're sadly mistaken, I believe. Mark Lewis says too many injuries. We got a few injuries. I wouldn't say too many at this moment. We are definitely close to having a crisis, but I agree with Klopp said. I don't think it's a crisis at this point yet. Klopp will go with Milner, bro. At fullback, probably. You're probably right. And that's what I said. I'm only going by what I would like to see. I wouldn't even mind seeing Clyne. At some point, these guys got to see games. Importantly, specifically Clyne. Um, he would never disappoint. Yeah, that's true. The problem with Mane is that if he has another bad performance, he'll be mentally affected for weeks. Yeah, but again, I don't really see and again, I don't know if I can really say a performance. The performance against Napoli was bad. I don't know if I can say that personally. I think the finishing was bad on two particular moments in particular, but I don't think his performance necessarily was bad. But that's me. That's me. That's just how he is. Yeah, I hear you. Dan, what's up? Biggest game of the season till the next game. Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, every game seems that way because, again, Liverpool, Klopp will never say it, but I'm hesitating to say it now, as you can see with the pauses. I think Liverpool could go undefeated this season. I said, I think Liverpool could go undefeated this season. Milner can do a job at right back. Yeah, we know that. We know that. And he probably will be called upon in this situation. I'm probably living in dream world saying Camacho, simply going on what I want. I'd say Camacho or Klein is what I would want. Yes, Milner will probably get the call for that. I mean, you know, obviously we can flex a bit. He could play a little bit of midfield, and maybe we can punch somebody else back there. I mean, it'll be fluid, as fluid as we can be. Then again, maybe not as United. We kind of know how they're going to set up. There's no real surprises in my opinion. Not that Jose Mourinho isn't a guy who could throw in a surprise there, but I think it's pretty straightforward in these games when you're playing against United teams. So now we'll hope City cope with pressure. Now we'll hope City will City cope with pressure. They haven't been in this situation for more than a year. Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Honestly, I think they'll be fine. It is City. They still are good. One result, but maybe Everton could give them a go. I don't know. I'm just worried about Lukaku. Last time he really bullied Lovren. Yeah, yeah. He did. He did. I just think again mentally. This team is just different. I know it was just last season. I'm not saying they're just a totally. Well, I am saying that we're a totally amazing team and slightly different team. I think our confidence last season defensively just wasn't there. We had a keeper who I honestly I don't think the players again will come out and say this, but a keeper of Allison's stature of his quality really makes a difference on the back four. It really does, and I think that played a role as well. When you have a keeper who you can, I mean, it's one of those things where even if balls do get through, and there might be times this season where he just doesn't make the save or whatever, but he'll never do something like Mignolet or Karius, especially now with Karius in the final. So having a keeper that is that confident and that good with the confidence, it's a different situation, man. It's a different situation, and Action United fans they've had the hair for a long time. They know. So I mean you're right about what you said about Lovren against Lukaku, but I think we'll be fine. Um, they will play long balls to Lukaku. Yeah, they will. They will. They'll do the same thing they did last season and think that they can get at us with it, and they probably should. It's up to Liverpool to show that we're a different team. I think beating a team like Bournemouth the way we did, it shows that we don't really need to be doubting these situations anymore. We don't need to go into games thinking, "Oh God, this is a." We don't need to think this is a banana skin. This is a bogey team. Not in this team. Not in this Klopp team anymore. So that should be put to rest. So again, I'm just again I don't go into these games thinking that we're going to be scored against. I just don't. Rarely, I should say. I mean, the Napoli game, I hold my hands up. I was one of the guys who said that we probably would concede at least one. We didn't. Close to it, but we didn't. I was also one of the guys, hands up, thinking that that midfield wasn't good enough. The thing about that midfield is that it's a trusted midfield. In a game like that, against a team like that, you need hardworking guys. You need guys that are going to do the job that they did, and I think they did that in the early, few minutes. Henderson did look, as he does sometimes, very, very non-press resistant. But they worked hard. They got the job done, and I'm happy to, especially at home. At home, having that midfield three, I don't think I worry too much anymore. Not just because of that performance, but the track record, because that was the midfield I believe that we had when we beat PSG the first game. So that midfield I think can be trusted, especially at home. On the road, that's where you start to wonder. Let me get some of these comments read. Was Van Dijk there the last time we played Man U? I believe so. I believe so. Van Dijk was there, but Lukaku targeted Lovren, yes, and he also targeted Trent, or that left side in general, or right side, however you look at it. We shouldn't be worried about Rashford nor Lukaku. Never doubt Klopp's lineups. We would, yeah, and I don't. It was, and I wasn't, and I've said this on here before. I have no right to doubt Klopp's lineup because he gets it right most of the time. Um, but I think there's times when you see a lineup and you say, not that you doubt it, but it's like, ooh, okay, I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I'm going to support it. And that's basically what I did. I mean, I wasn't the happiest with it, but I thought we could get it done. And so again, Klopp knows way more about football than me, and probably all of us here. None of us are managers at that level anyway. So yeah, I mean, that's true. You really can't doubt Klopp anymore. I mean, he's shown it time and time and time again. And you saw Twitter how it blew up about us going into Europa. And again, hands up, I said we might see Europa based on that midfield. But again, they continue to just sometimes prove me wrong and continue to just show that we are here to do some special things this season. So Dan says it's the only way I can see us lifting that trophy. Can't rely on City dropping points. Yes, we just need to haul them all. Yes, hopefully we will move up through the gears as the season goes on. Best comment of the day so far, Mr. Morris. I think that's true. We only can. It sounds cliche, and people have said it a bunch of times, but we can only really, truthfully, focus on what we're doing. As long as we're getting our points, then that's all we can do. We can't really worry about what City is doing. We can't really worry about even if they're dropping points. We have to keep in our way and not hold up. No matter what City is doing, we have to keep doing our thing, and we do that. And like Klopp said before the game in Napoli, we do what we're supposed to do without any crazy decisions from refs or whatever. Which even with that, you got to keep fighting. If we do what we need to do, handle our business, then we'll be fine. We'll be fine this season. Everton can get a result. I agree. I think Everton are a good team. One of the best Everton sides I've seen in my lifetime of supporting Liverpool and just watching football in general. So they could cause City some problems, and maybe them taking a blow to Chelsea and not being that great in this last Champions League game. and the Champions League in general. Not being as great as I think they probably expected them to be. Although I think if you ask some City fans, none of them really care about the Champions League, which is a loser's mentality to me. You won the league a few times already now. Why wouldn't you want to win the Champions League? That's the next great thing. But seems like that might stem through the team as well. But yeah, man, excited about it. I'm going for a 1-0. I think I said that, but I'll say it again. 1-0 for me. Salah again with the goal. Defensively, I think we'll be sound again with Lovren in there, and whoever it is that we have playing right back. Just really believe in this team. And again, the defending is so good at a high level that I just don't panic. And that's got to be one of the best feelings as a Liverpool fan right now, to know that we can go into games and win 1-0. All we need is one chance. All we need is one goal. And so it'll be tight. I don't think it'll be as easy as some people may think. Then again, it could be 3-4-0 as well. I mean, United are bruised and battered right now. They're a wounded dog. But I tend to think that Marino will have his team up and try everything he can, everything tactically, having big guys up there, Fellaini, the tallest guys he can get from set pieces. They will be ready to play. And we need to match that and be even better, hungry, nasty, mad, play that way to get the win. So, and for Lart Milner at right back for me, ahead of Clyne. Yeah, probably so. Probably so. I think it's just good to see Clyne is back, especially knowing that Gomez and Trent are out. If nothing else, I think defensively he can be sound. He's not as good attacking. He could do some things here and there, but he's nowhere near the level of Trent in my opinion, and maybe not even Milner being Milner being a midfielder, probably has a bit more of an attacking mentality as a football player. So that'll probably be what we go with. But again, that's just what I'm hoping. Camacho and or Clyne, or Camacho or Clyne. But yeah, excited about it. I kind of wish it was tomorrow. I hate waiting all the way to Sunday, but hopefully Saturday comes and goes quickly, and then we can prepare for United. So just proud of this team, man. Proud of this team. We played 22, 23 games, 4 losses if you include the Carabao Cup or whatever it's called, the 3 away losses in Champions League. I'm happy where we are. Really, really happy where we are. There's a lot of things we still need to improve, which is a scary thing because we're doing so well. But again, if Liverpool could really, really just go up slightly a notch, specifically offensively, I mean, it's amazing what we can accomplish this season. So Mark says, I think this game needs Shaqiri. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. I love Shaqiri like the next man. I love that we're able to have guys that we really want to see in the team, and sometimes don't even, make the pitch, and we're still doing well. So yes, I think Shaqiri could play a role. It all depends on how the game is going. He may start from the jump. I don't see that, but he could. But again, it's just nice to know that we have the options if we need a game changer. That's really good to see. So just want to see us back into the Premier League and continuing winning ways, staying unbeaten. A draw is not the worst result. It really isn't. It really isn't the worst result. I don't see it happening. I know that it can. I know these games can be really, really funny. And I think that'll be a win in a way for United. I don't see them sacking him. I think if they get a bad result, the worst result, losing, they're probably all but out of the race for getting top 4. But even then, if that's the case, I just don't see them. I mean, who do you bring in? Who does United bring in at this point? They're probably not gonna get top 4 anyway. So, and then you got to change your system and all this. So, I see them keeping him throughout the season, and I think a good result for them, a win or a draw, only helps Marino, and it only really helps his job. So, hey, it'll be nice to beat them. I love Mourinho. I might be in the minority on this channel as far as you guys, and I think he's one of the best managers I've ever seen. Is one of the managers who've done the best with the least a lot of times as well. You think about Porto winning the Champions League, so maybe he's lost a step, if you will. I think the football has changed, and I think maybe he's still slightly stuck back in the day with his tactics and how he was able to win games and get results. Now, don't get it twisted. He still can get results. Beat Juventus. He can do those things. But by and large, it seems like it's not something he can really keep up for a long period of time. So thank you for everybody who stood by the channel today. Mommy says it's time for Klopp to get a win against Mo. Yeah, it is. It is. At the last time he's beat him is when he was United, or when Moreno was managing United, and we got the win there. That goal from Henderson, long distance. I think that was a game. Maybe it wasn't. Anyway, I'm pretty sure Klopp has beaten Mourinho as a Liverpool manager. I just can't remember what game it was. But yeah, thank you guys, man. It was about 8 of you. Let me do a roll call for everybody who was here just to show my appreciation. Mame, thank you. Mark Lewis, Anfield Lark. Looks like you might have been working. I'm glad you were able to make some comments. Morris, Dan, good to see you. Matt, what's up, man? Um, I said Mark already. Who else is up in here? Dan, I said already. I think that's about it. If I forgot your name, sorry. But yeah, thank you guys. Nice show, mate. Good to hear your thoughts. Appreciate it, and for luck. Always leaving nice comments, man. I really appreciate that. Couldn't tell you that enough. But yeah, looking forward to the game and some of the other games that are coming on. Just looking forward to another weekend of Premier League football, really. So that's all for me, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Friday. We'll see you sooner than later.